This is Kliptown, the bedrock of South Africa's constitution. It's a place which 57 years ago held the country's hopes and dreams of a free and equal society.
Kliptown encapsulates South Africa's story of unequal development, of the ever-widening gap between the rich and poor.
Well, if you look at things like delivery of services, if you look at actual physical provision of schools, of houses, it's done pretty well. In fact, the country's done pretty well. If we look at income inequality, the country's done badly. And of course, the ANC can say, well, that's business. But the ANC is the governing party. The ANC does have the power to try to change that, and it hasn't really done that.
With the construction of the multi-million rand Walter Sisulu Square of Dedication, residents in Kliptown thought their living conditions would also improve.
Why is Kliptown such an important town in South Africa?
Yeah, it is important because that's where Freedom Charter was drafted in 1955. And thousands of delegates gathered here just to witness the drafting of the Freedom Charter. So that's how it holds the most important history for South Africa.
What is the Freedom Charter? Can you tell us?
Freedom Charter basically was different ideas that are coming from different people to say in years to come, this is how people were looking or were wishing to see the country or this community being developed. You know, those were the ideas that were coming from different people. So they had to be written in black and white so that in future they can be they could be done so that people could see that their ideas were put in action.
What were some of those ideas that were drafted in the Freedom Charter?
Yeah, the ideas were such as free education, where people cannot pay tuition fee, but they could have quality education. The country shall be shared amongst those who live in it. It shouldn't be like people that have the money, those are the only people that have the right on the ground. So everybody who lives in the country should also be able to share on the country's wealth.
Since 1994, unemployment figures in South Africa have continued to climb, despite healthy economic growth.
Living condition in this community, people, is very difficult because people, they live under 10 rand per day. So it's very difficult. And some of the people, those that are working, I'll be honest with you, they'll be working as domestic workers, and then some people are still pursuing recycling so that they could also put food on the table for their family.
At a structural level, the economy might need a different outlook and a different approach than the incremental approaches that we've had. And I doubt that the National Development Plan would present that leap forward because it provides solutions for a normal society.
And South Africa is anything but normal.
Asisebenzi, asinama-toilet, ama-toilet esinawo awaflashwa angcolile, so awakho healthy for abantwana. Siphila nedoti each and every day. Ezima ungena ubona laphayana ukuthi kugcwele idoti from the other side and the other side too kugcwele idoti.
This is what surprises us too. Why there has been no change in Kliptown. We've been applying for houses since 1989. We applied again in 1996. 1997 we've been on the waiting list, waiting for houses, and we're still waiting.
The reason for a lack of development in Kliptown can be traced back to this document. A business plan by the Johannesburg Development Agency to make Kliptown an open-air museum and bustling tourist hub.
I think they're trying to make an open-air museum here. That's the reason why it's still like this.
What is an open-air museum?
I think an open-air museum, it's a place where you'll find there's no development, but it has the history and also the pictures of previous government and other things where whenever people want to know more about the place.
How does a service delivery protest begin? These are the main ingredients for residents of Heri Gwala informal settlement on Johannesburg's East Rand. Known to many as the lightning rod for service delivery protests in the province. First, make a promise.
They promised us houses. They said they were going to build us houses. So we can't just sit down, keep quiet and wait, because we want houses.
Then failed to honor that promise repeatedly for more than 20 years.
When you see us marching, it's because we asked and our needs have not been met.
We
go to the streets because we have no answers.
That's why
Then leave the community to live without basic services. If 2013 had its fair share of political squabbling and exposés, this year offers a lot more for media houses hungry for juicy news stories. In just a few days, the ruling ANC will table its manifesto for what is expected to be the most tightly contested national elections in South Africa since the country's democratic elections in 1994. For the 2014 national elections, editors and journalists will be keeping a close eye on how the ANC will fare against newcomers Agang, headed by Mamphele Ramphele, and Julius Malema's new political outfit, the EFF. Blade runner Oscar Pistorius will return to the dock this year to answer for what was 2013's most shocking international murder story of the year. A sensational court story on top of a heap of high-level court battles awaiting their turn on the judge's pile of dockets, which include investigations into the arms deal funding saga, President Jacob Zuma's spy tape investigations, the Protection of Public Information Bill, widely dubbed the Secrecy Bill, and the controversial former crime intelligence boss, Richard Mdluli, is also expected to appeal against the reinstatement of murder and kidnapping charges against him. The Marikana Commission of Inquiry is also set to continue this year and is expected to expose the mining industry's business practices, labor laws, and the state of human rights protection in the country. Public Protector Thuli Madonsela is also expected to table her much-anticipated Nkandla report. E-tolls in the Gauteng province is another story which generated plenty of controversy in 2013, and the saga is set to make more headlines as the country watches how the South African Roads Agency will deal with widespread public opposition to the system. The media will also be paying special attention to the high rates of gruesome crimes against children, which made headlines in 2013. And if these stories spell doom and gloom, don't despair, as this year marks 20 years of democracy in April, though it's bound to be celebrated under very tight economic conditions. JEDI Ramalapa, ANN7, Midrand. How does a service delivery protest begin? These are the main ingredients for residents of Heri Gwala informal settlement on Johannesburg's East Rand. Known to many as the lightning rod for service delivery protests in the province. First, make a promise.
They promised us houses. They said they were going to build us houses. So we can't just sit down, keep quiet and wait, because we want houses.
Then failed to honor that promise repeatedly for more than 20 years.
When you see us marching, it's because we asked and our needs have not been met. We go to the streets because we have no answers.
That's why
Then leave the community to live without basic services, water, toilets and electricity.
What we need is water and electricity. That's what's important. That's why we march.
Then take them from pillar to post with more promises from one councillor to another.
It's not 20 years. I'm sure.
We have been living here for 20 years. We have been living like this since Mandela. Mbeki. Mbeki again. And now Msholozi. How long can we live this way?
Add chronic unemployment to the pot, stir in a teaspoon of miscommunication, and you'll end up with a hot cup of a community with nothing to lose.
Kuzoyenzeka lokho ayifana kalo futhi ngeke sisacela elukuzane lapha permission.
That's going to happen. We'll go out to the streets. We won't even ask for permission.
Incwadi futhi le yasho ukuthi kufuneka siyoyisayinisa nje kuphela ngeke siyisayinise so mana sifele lapha endleleni so fela khona.
We will go out in the streets. We will hit those cars. We will block the doors. We will fight with the police because no one cares about us. Not one wants to listen.
Vela ngasi next angabalulekanga. Uvela umxoshe nje suka lapha yilento yabheda le. Kubheda thina manje.
They treat us like animals. We'll be bad.
Ene kuzoba buhlungu masibheda.
Municipal IQ says they've observed an increased number of service delivery protests across the country on a weekly basis.
A lot of politicians are busy fighting political battles and not necessarily as focused as they should be on service delivery.
A lack of trust is what has made many disenfranchised South Africans to take to the streets in protests because they are left with no other option. Since money is not the issue, the question is, what will it take for residents of Bronkhorstspruit, Retabiseng and Zitobeni are seething with anger. They also want their current water and electricity bills scrapped. The areas have been without electricity for more than a week, and the residents are demanding answers.
What makes us angry is the issue of electricity and water. And when we ask the mayor to come to us, he says we are not educated. How can he say that to us when we voted for him? He's there because of us.
Yes.
Protesting residents tried to head for downtown Bronkhorstspruit, but the police would have none of it.
Tensions are high here in Ezitobeni. Protesters want to go through to Bronkhorstspruit, where they say they want to sort out their problems with the municipality. The police have cordoned off their area, refusing them access to Bronkhorstspruit. However, they will not back down, saying they want to do what they want to do.
As residents charged in, police had to use rubber bullets and tear gas to disperse the crowd. But they quickly regrouped and vowed to continue with their protest action until the mayor does something about their concerns.
If he came and spoke to us when we asked him to, there would be none of this. If we do nothing, we look ignorant. This is the only way we think he will listen to us.
Even children wanted to be heard.
We won't go back to school until we get what we want. That's all I want to say. They must get out our people there in prison. We won't go to school until we get what we want.
Police are investigating a number of crimes related to the ongoing protests.
This morning, 2 incidents has been reported of arson. One is a private property of a male in his late 30s, and the other one is a government building, which is the library, the municipal buildings. 2 suspects or people has been taken in this morning for questioning with regard to the incidents. Police opened arson dockets, and that is what we're investigating at this moment.
During the protests, police were outnumbered by a crowd of close to 3,000 residents who say they will stop at nothing until the Tshwane municipality addresses their concerns. JEDI RAMALAPA, ANN7, Bronco Spread. Bree Street taxi rank, one of Johannesburg's most active transport hubs, was empty this morning. Commuters who were not informed of the impending strike were left stranded with no alternatives of getting to work.
It's no work, no pay. Even if we have a reason, but no work, no pay.
Got the news roughly at like 6 in the morning, right? There's no means of alternatives because it's like a last minute thing. So there's no ways of getting to work. It's a Monday, everybody's stressed out, and shifts tend to be quite hard. So we don't know what we're going to do. We've tried calling work, and then I don't know if they understand the situation as to what is happening. For those who don't have cars, it's quite hard.
Well, everybody's standing around and waiting for transport, and it doesn't seem nothing. They said it's the international strike, so if nothing happens, then I'm going home.
Some of us might lose our jobs, and now we don't know what to do, and we're stranded.
While many supported the e-toll taxi strike, others wanted the taxi industry to find other means of protest. When we take their taxis, we pay, so they must find other ways of resolving their problems, so that they don't affect us. At Nwoord taxi rank, some taxi associations were not informed in time of the e-tolling strike and carried on with business as usual. Like many motorists in Johannesburg, taxi operators have been receiving piles of bills and cell phone notifications to pay e-tolls or face prosecution.
When e-tolls were first introduced, taxi drivers were said to be exempt from them. Today, taxi drivers here at Nwoord say, had they known about the strike, they would have joined. JEDI RAMALAPA, ANN7, Johannesburg.